My God, listen to that. That salty water sloshing around. That gets you in the mood for adventure. Over a year. Over a year, the stupid cassette player has been going. What did I get this for? $2? Doesn't even have the battery casing on it. Good for you. Unbelievable. I don't know where that was made, but this needs to go too. Okay, it's the Gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz, your humble, sweat-ridden host. It's it's a soggy day out on the ship and in here and in my pantaloons, but that's a whole other story. But it's a great day because today we get to be pirates once again, my friends. Can you believe it? Somebody's on our side out there. So let's do it. A lot going on. This is a big show because we're talking about a game that really, you could drop the pirate and you could drop all the crap that we usually do here and still have a very laden show. We're going to be playing Phantasy Star Online for the Nintendo GameCube. My God, what a legacy. The Phantasy Star series. And it didn't get better than Phantasy Star Online. We'll also be digging into the chest. Very excited about the chest. Quality over quantity, to be sure. And the best part, some of it, I don't even know what's in there. Very, very excited about that. I don't know what to tell you. When that happens, it's a long week. When that happens, when I don't know what's going to be in the chest, but I know it's good, that's a long, long week, okay? And then finally, we will be addressing your comments, questions, queries, and concerns in the bag that tells no tales. Feel free to send them in via gaminggalleon@gmail.com, or if you happen to be watching us via Twitch, feel free to leave something about the show, about the adventure we're going on, about my pantaloons, and we will take it live right there and then. Okay? Alright. But let's get started. We got an hour to get through a lot, and let me talk to you about one of the most exciting experiences in gaming that I personally ever had. That was Phantasy Star Online. But it wasn't on the GameCube. Okay? If you've never heard of Phantasy Star is basically Sega's Final Fantasy. Phantasy Star is basically Sega's Dragon Warrior. Okay? It's basically Sega's Skyrim, I suppose you could say. They've been making the Phantasy Star series all the way back since late 80s probably, but maybe early 90s. And most of us, my age, and most people in general, learn about Phantasy Star when Phantasy Star 2 came out. This was, if it wasn't in your house, if it was in one of your neighbor's house. In my case, it was a neighbor's, and it was quite an undertaking. I never played it nearly as much as he did, but I played a little bit. I always got stuck, but this isn't one I ever beat. But this was big. Every neighborhood knew about Phantasy Star 2. The artwork's just beautiful, and what's different from most of the RPGs that you played on Nintendo, which is where I cut my teeth on RPGs, Phantasy Star took place in outer space. You would travel to different planets, not different countries or different villages. It didn't get much grander in the 16-bit era than Phantasy Star. Okay? They eventually made a couple others here. They made Phantasy Star 3. Phantasy Star 4. A lot of people say Phantasy Star 4 is the greatest. I played a little bit of it. It's not bad. Where's Phantasy Star? Where's the first one, Raz? Well, that was actually on the old Sega Master System. Way before the Sega Genesis. And I don't really think it was a household name until Phantasy Star 2. It's also very hard to come by because it's so old. It's like a $50, $60 game for this old, very rudimentary RPG, which had one outstanding quality, which was the main character was a female. And that was a big deal back then. Aside from Samus from Metroid, can you think of any iconic female characters in the Sega world? I forgot what her name is. Very iconic. I think she's a princess. But the cool thing is you can find the original Phantasy Star. I'm not going to bother with the autofocus. Throw your tomatoes if you want. We just don't have time. If you really want to go on the cheap with Phantasy Star, you get the Phantasy Star Collection for the Game Boy Advance. Very reasonably priced. You're probably looking at like 10-15 bucks. And you're getting the original Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star 2, and Phantasy Star 3. This is how I played the original Phantasy Star, of which I've played quite a bit. I never finished it, but it is an excellent game. And I think I played it maybe around the turn of the century. So, you know, the game was already maybe 15 years old by then, and I've still really liked it. So, totally recommend the first one. I might recommend the first one over the second one, now that I mention it. It's just because it's just so easy to learn. How we doing on time? Got a little bit more time. I want to send an aside. Oh, okay. I forgot something that's important. Maybe we can get it on. We'll see. I'm going to send this out, and maybe by a miracle it'll happen. But I left something. Forget it. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Should I start over? I hate starting over. I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm gonna send it out. Bismuth, if you hear me, out on the deck, I left something. It's that thing that I showed you via text a few days ago. And you asked about a scan of it. It's out on the deck. That makes sense, okay? Alright, back to it. I want to thank my friends Eve and Anubis. They came into town for a convention. We had the weekend to play some role-playing games, and they got me back into Phantasy Star Online. What a way to relive one of the most magical times, because Phantasy Star Online for the Dreamcast was really where I learned about Phantasy Star. This was the first console RPG, like close to massive multiplayer online. You only played with 4 people in a party when you went out into the world, but you could get into lobbies and a whole bunch of people be sitting around from all over the world, mind you, and you could talk to them, kind of, because this was the days before voice chat. So literally you would be typing on a computer. Not a computer, a keyboard. And I just happen to have the old keyboard that I used all the way back in 2001, 2002, when Phantasy Star Online was still around. You had to pay 15 bucks a month to play this game, and you're typing away. But it was magical. I was in college at the time. I would board myself up into my little loft that had one of those one window space air conditioners and turn all the lights off. I had a night side job, so you know I'd get home around 11 o'clock and be up till dawn playing Phantasy Star Online for $15 a month. Now you're like, it's ridiculous to think that we used to pay that much for these games, but at the time it was the standard. Now just for fun, I want to open this up because this guy's been sitting in garages and crawl spaces for close to 15 years, and all the time that I played PSO for maybe over a year, I'm sure, every night, all the time. So I can only imagine the amount of gross residue on this thing. Okay, so let's just take a look at it real quick, and then we'll get into Phantasy Star Online. Still in the bag. Oh god, just through the bag I can already see this thing's gross. I hope you're not eating. I was certainly eating over this keyboard quite a bit. Oh. You'll notice it's got the Dreamcast port. It's dusty. It's just filthy. It's got Dreamcast there. God, the amount of time I spent hunched over this keyboard in dead of night. I think you could play 2 games with this. You could play Phantasy Star Online, maybe more, but not many. Phantasy Star Online and Quake 3 Arena come to mind with the mouse. You needed the Dreamcast mouse. Memories. All right, let's stop with the nostalgia trip. Let's get started. Let's head out to Phantasy Star Online. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to explain, and then, my God, we're gonna get into this. Okay, we're already about a minute heavy, so let's play PSO for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll come back and hit the chest. Okay, it's Phantasy Star Online, episode 1 and 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. All right, again, video. Have you been getting audio the whole time? Oh, I've been giving you music the whole time? I didn't mean to do that. Well, I'm already off to a good start. Sorry about that. Alright, whatever. Give me this here. Alright, so here we are. This is me, I'm a robot. There's like 3 races in this game, and everyone has a different job. You can be a guy who likes guns, guy who likes swords, and a magician. And you can also be a robot, a human, or an elf. And robots can't use magic, but they're really good in combat. And for whatever reason, I really wanted to play with guns when I played this game. Where are we at right now? We're in the Hunters Guild. We're a mercenary. And we're on a gigantic colonial ship, a giant colonization ship, orbiting planet Ragol. And there she is, okay? This is a planet that was planned for colonization 7 years ago. A ship came here with a whole colony, and then they mysteriously disappeared. We have no idea what happened to them. So it's our job, as mercenaries, or hunters, to head on down to the planet and try and gather clues and find out what happened to the passengers and colonists of Pioneer 1, which was the name of the ship. We are on the Pioneer 2, and let's take a look at it. When you say colonial ship, you mean it. Colonization ship? Ship of colonization? I mean it. Whatever I'm saying, I mean it. It's huge. Take a look at that. There's all kinds of businesses and homes, vehicles zooming around the ship. And we're right in the middle of the marketing district. Alright, now we want to get down to the action. I usually don't bore you guys with this stuff, but the last time I headed down to the planet, I found something way cool. Okay? Check it out. I said I was a gun guy. Doesn't get better than an unidentified rifle. So we're going to get this appraised. Hopefully it's something awesome. And then we're going to head down to the planet and do a little hunting. How's that sound, alright? This is a techer. He knows how to identify these things. For a little bit of money, aka Maseda. Let's check it out. A heart rifle. What do these do? This is a gun that fires bullets. Yeah. And it steals magic points from an enemy. I don't want that. I'm a robot. I can't use magic, sir. Oh, that's just useless. Is it even better than... I don't know if I want to equip it. What a disappointment, dude. It could have been anything. It could have been a fire rifle. It could have been a rifle that confuses my enemies. It doesn't even have better stats than what I'm using. Oh my god. That's RPGs for you, huh? That's it, I'm selling it. Wow, I've been holding on to that thing. I could barely sleep last night. I was like ready to find out what it was. Let's get down to the planet. Maybe we'll get better luck. Alright, so yeah, there's this whole plot line. There's colonists, you know, there's all these races. There's all these doofs walking around. I like this guy's pants, by the way. I would totally wear those orange pants. But who cares about that? You know, what made this game great was heading down to the planet with 3 other friends and exploring. It's okay, Biz, thank you. You can lay it right there. That's okay. It doesn't get it. Yeah. That's perfect. Anywhere's fine. Thanks a lot. Biz saving a day. Alright. We'll get to that later. Okay, so here we are. We're down on the planet. There's not much to this, but you notice I got my rifle ready to go. So let's pop some heads, shall we? Monofluid. That's like magic points. But I remember, you know... Can you think back to the first time that you were ever on an online game? I think it's different for everyone, especially these days. If you're, you know, a 20-something or maybe even a 30-something, there's a whole host of different online games to play. But for a kid like, or a guy like me, back in college, didn't have a lot of money, went to the library to work on my computer homework. I never played... Oh boy, we got blood. Oh, check out that dynamic music, huh? A guy like me, there were not many options for online games. Until this bad boy came along. And, you know, I gotta say, I couldn't have been more pleased. I'm a real fan of teamwork. I'm a real fan of shopping. And I like being a hero. And I really got into it. You know, I was a robot. I pretended the first time I got online. You know, you just appear in one of these lobbies. I pretended I had been activated for the first time. I remember there was like a guild. A couple of guildies who happened to be... Ah! Chicken! Hold on. Yeah, have a seat. I remember, you know, there were a couple guildies, veterans, you know, very high level, being in this lobby. This was their lobby. And, you know, then you got some doofy robot who very much... You know, same robot I'm playing now. Same name. Is, like, playing up, like, this stupid, you know, Tin Man Wizard of Oz routine. It's not something you see every day, you know? Picking up a lot of loot here. They learned to love me for it. What can I say? Picking up a lot of loot here, but one thing I want to show you is... I think I had picked up... Right. So this is a healing potion, okay? But it's given me this... Because I've maxed out on them, okay? Now the cool thing about this game was if you found something you were maxed out and it was an item, you actually have a little pet. You see these 2 little guys over my shoulders? They actually help me. They're called mags. And every 15 minutes, you can feed them items. And you never know what the items will do. Their stats are on the lower left-hand side here. My mag's level 13. He's got a defense of 6. Power of 4. Let's feed him a healing potion and see what happens. Alright, looks like he just got a little bit of power there. We're going to feed him one more time. Looks like he's still hungry. Another healing potion. And then just for kicks, let's feed him one of these moon atomizers. This is actually something that you can use to revive a fallen teammate. Pretty powerful item. Let's see what the mag thinks of it. Does he like it or not? All around he's okay with it. So yeah, why is this important? Because when you equip the mag, when you have it on your shoulders... All these stats, the defense of 6, power of 4, that adds to your stats. So it's kind of like, you know, an accessory. And you can even take a mag off. He's not there anymore. Your stats go back to normal. And even cooler is, you can actually trade your mag to another friend. I'm having a hard time getting back to the equipment. So if you're ever hanging out with somebody who's just playing for the first time, their stats are bad, you can hand your mag off to them, and then the two of you are almost on the same playing field. I just thought that was really a brilliant touch in this game. And it also really... Rearm my rifle here. It also really encouraged chatting. Because people would hang out in the city with, you know, a whole bunch of money. I'm totally lost now. And they would go to the store and they would buy, you know, food that their mags liked. And we would all type away. And every 15 minutes we'd feed our silly mags. Alright. So where are we at? We started 20 minutes ago. We've got about 4 more minutes. Does anyone know which way I need to go? I'm sorry, you know, I talked so much that I kind of lost my way. Oh, and this is a dead end. Well, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, that's another thing about this game. This is the first level, but they actually move. They change how the doors are locked up. They'll change where the monsters are. So while the landscape always stays the same, all the variables change up a little bit. Okay, now I'm seeing on the left here's a door we haven't been through. Oh, is that our way back up to the ship? Oh, you see that? That is our way back up to the ship, but we want to get down to that transporter. Let's hoof it. I think if we spend the next 3 minutes doing that, we'll make it to the next part of the forest, which is kind of where we need to be on time. Of course, my, you know, what adventurer could leave loot behind? You know, we talked about how there's a fighter class, a ranger class, and a magician class. There's all kinds of weapons down here. Some of them any class can use. Oh, I'm gonna rake into these guys. Hey, leveled! Alright, sweet. Oh, nice shot, Rez. There we go. So yeah, sometimes you'll find weapons that you can't possibly use. And that, again, you know, it encourages trading, encourages bartering. You'll notice I'm shooting in threes. There is even a little combo system. Almost like a rhythm game. Oh, these are awesome. You hear that buzzing? Oh my god. I'm getting camp nightmares. Get it! Oh, you jerks. Ow! Yeah, eat it. Check it out, I can lay some traps too. Oh, I didn't mean to lay that one. Robots can lay traps. They're also the only race that can see traps. You saw that little trap that was floating there? If I were a human, that would have been invisible to me. That's another neat thing. If you're on a party with a robot, if you're the only robot in the party, and you enter a room and you see traps, you have to say things like, you know, hold on, stay here a second, let me clear the room. I love, you know, those racial differences, the class differences, you know, the mag, the pet variable, you know, all these different things really come together to make this character that you're spending all these nights on your own. And in 2001, that was something really, really special. Not that you could customize your own guy, but that you could help your friends with it. Really cool. And still cool to this day. The great thing about the copy we're playing... Is this the room with the transporter? Okay, what is? Screw you guys, I'm out of here. I want to look in the chest. The cool thing about the copy we're playing for the GameCube, unlike the Dreamcast version, is this one's actually 4-player split screen. Think about that. Again, with that music was running through the whole monologue. I'm sorry about that. Whew. Oh yeah, that's one sweaty captain. All right, so where are we at here? 4:41. So we're about 30 minutes, 25 minutes into the show. Okay, great. So let's get into this guy. This is good stuff. All right. There's not much here, but I'm really excited about it. Okay. I think you will be too. So, the first deal I feel bad about because it's not all here. But I walked into a place. I was on the west side of town. I don't get out there that often. It's kind of a drive. Not a huge drive, but it's out of my way. And sometimes it can be really, really dry out there. So I don't go out there often. But gosh, was I happy I went that day. So this was just 7 days ago. Our last voyage, the day of our last voyage. First place we stopped at, and a buddy of mine works behind the counter. He had not much, but he did have Wolfenstein: The New Order for the PlayStation 4. He gave me that for $5. Not like the most amazing deal in the world, but it's a great game, and I was really excited to get a hold of it. I think $5 is great. Unfortunately, though, I'm an idiot, and I left it home, so I'm sorry about that. You'll just have to trust me. I got that. Along with that, I did find one thing on the floor that I wanted from him, and it was Sonic All-Star Racing for the Xbox 360. Why, Raz? Don't we have this on the DS? Don't we have this on the Wii? Yes, we do. Why did I get this specific copy? Let me get the autofocus. We got this copy because apparently on the Xbox 360, and I love when systems do this, they had an exclusive character, and in this case, you can play Sonic All-Star Racing featuring Banjo-Kazooie. I think that's really cool. You know, they're a pretty well-known rare team, especially in the Nintendo 64 days. They were really big, and they made a game when the Xbox 360 wasn't that popular. But I love the fact that they make an appearance here. In this, I asked him how much he wanted for this. He took a look at the disc and was nice enough. I mean, the disc is in pretty good shape. It looks like it's more messy than scratched. If anything, it might need a cleaning. But even so, it's still a good deal because he was kind enough to give us this guy for 50 cents. So even busted up, I think it's definitely worth the shot. So we went with it. All right. So that's it. Little tidbit. Nice afternoon. I was like, okay. Well, I guess this is worth my time to go out to the West Coast or West Side. You know, I like. We really wanted that Wolfenstein game, so that's cool. However, then I went to another pawn shop, and I walked in. The clock. Time to get that thing fixed. Get it? Walked into this pawn shop, and there's this older gentleman. There's two clerks. One clerk's working at the computer, guy, you know, 20-something. You got a chick who's, I don't know how old she was. She's helping some older guy who's like, you know, 50s, mid-50s, 60s, and they're looking at the PlayStation 3 game. PlayStation 3s. Guy's looking at hardware. So I'm like, and he got here before me, so I'm like, Lord knows what he has found. Probably nothing. You know, again, this seems like a dry part of the city. I have no idea. But then, sitting like 2 feet from the guy who's looking at the PlayStation 3s on the counter are 9 Super Nintendo games. Okay? And I talked to the guy who's at the computer, and I'm like, hey, are these for... Now, my heart sinks, because I feel like this older gentleman must have already claimed these, because they were just sitting there, only a few feet from him, and this lady. And they were, I figured they were just continuing a transaction. So I go to the guy, the 20-something, and I say, hey, are these Super Nintendo games for sale? Are these games for sale? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh my god. So then I wish I didn't do this, but I did. I went over there and I started looking at the games. Because you don't know. See, the Super Nintendo library's a tough library for me because there's a lot of games out there that are worth gold. But there's also a lot of games that are crap. I don't like buying sports games to the Super Nintendo. I'm not going for a complete copy. Alright? Or a complete collection. Not even close. Alright? So, but he's got a stack here. And I'm figuring it's probably going to be a good deal. But I still jump at looking at them. And I see 4 games that we have. I see 2 games that we don't have. And 3 games I finally stop myself and don't look. So there's 3 games in here, I don't know what they are. But I will tell you, judging from the other 6, they may be pretty hot. Because the 6 games I saw were hot. I asked, they were hot. So let's get into them. Okay, let's look. All right. I don't know what I'm pulling here. We're gonna pull blind, so we may pull some games I don't know are in here. Let's take a look. First one. Oh, okay. I didn't know this was in here. This is pretty cool. So this is Justice League Task Force by Acclaim. You got check out the mullet on Superman there. For whatever reason, he had a mullet in this. This is a 2D fighting game, believe it or not. So imagine fighting. This is very fitting for the summer, isn't it? Because you could play Batman versus Superman. Who else is in here? You got Green Arrow in there, The Flash, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. I think Darkseid's in this too. It's made by, does this say Sunsoft? Sunsoft and Acclaim. I don't know why both of them are on there. This is a pretty decent fighter. And we already have it on the Genesis, so not that exciting. Cool, though. That's pretty cool. All right, that's not bad. That's a good afternoon with a friend. All right, let's take a look at what's next. All right, I saw this one. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. This is sitting in a pawn shop in the west side of town at 9 in the morning. All right? This is Uncharted Waters. New Horizons by Koei. What is this? Alright, there were 2 of these on the Sega Genesis, on the Super Nintendo. There was New Horizons, or there was Uncharted Waters, and then there was Uncharted Waters New Horizons. So I don't know if it's a game of the year or a sequel, but this is the better of the 2. And if you want to know what it is, Koei is known for making simulators, RPG simulators. This, my friends, is hands down the finest pirate simulator you could play on the Super Nintendo. Very cool. Now, we already have this, but this does not come cheap. And this is actually a way better copy than the one we have. I think the one we have, it has a marker on it. So really hot. Really hot to grab this. Have I not told you a price on these yet? Should I tell you? Is it killing you? Let's leave it for now. Let's leave it for now. All right. What did I say? Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. I asked. I said, "How much are you doing on these?" He said $5 each. Okay, but we'll finish up after that. Next, Super Mario Kart. Have you heard of it? Have you played it? Mode 7 graphics. Great thing about this one, which they finally brought back in the latest ones, is the more coins that you pick up in the race, the higher your top speed. I always thought that was an excellent gameplay mechanic. You know, you're really earning your speed there. I don't have to tell you how valuable this guy goes for, do I? Do I? I don't think so. Alright, so Mario Kart. What we got in there? I knew that was in there. What's this? Bob. From what I've seen, this is kind of like, this is the worst of the bunch, I would say. And that's still not bad. An EA platformer called Bob. EA, not exactly, Electronic Arts, not exactly my system to go to for platformers, with a few exceptions. I don't know. Some people like this game. I'm not that hot on it. It's just like you're like a wacky robot. I don't know. Ironic, since I like playing a robot in PSO. Okay, what's next? All right, then get more. What a surprise! You got your Super Mario World in there. Pretty much heavy hitters so far, wouldn't you say? The exception of Bob. But even Bob, it's not like, you might be paying like $15 for that game, so that's not bad. All right, what do we got next? How are we doing on time? 51. We started at 15. So where's that put us? 35 in. We got 25 minutes left. Okay. What do we got here? And oh my God. When I saw this, I was like, you have to be kidding me. That, again, I can't believe this was sitting in a pawn shop at 9 a.m. Wow. The Enix Space Saga Robotrek. Who's Enix? Oh, they just made a little game called Dragon Warrior. They're one of, they only merged with Square. They're that powerful of an RPG company. This is one of their lesser known games, but apparently it's really good. I've seen maybe 3 copies of this in my life, and every time I see it, it's around $40. Apparently this is like, you're a robot in a 16-bit RPG, and you can pick up parts via turn-based battle to, like, improve yourself. I haven't played it, but I have played some Enix RPGs in my day. On the, I think the last Enix RPG I played on the SNES was Soul Blazer. I know you may not know what that is, but it's really good. So the pedigree for this is hot. The fact that this was just found in just a random lot at a pawn shop is crazy to me. Very excited to have this. This is going to be one fun month, I would say. Very excited to play that. All right, a few more here. What are we at? We've looked at 6. All right, we got 3 more in here, 2 of which I don't know what they are. All right, here we go. I didn't know this was in here. We don't have it. Kind of cool. Populous. Looks like Acclaim put this one together. This was originally an Electronic Arts game. Populous is basically you are God. And you can either build or smite civilizations. I don't know if this is multiplayer. And I really couldn't say how. I'm going to say this is probably a pretty common game. But cool. It's not sports. We don't have it. I don't think we have Populous on any system. So this is pretty neat that we picked that up. Not bad at all. What a line of games here. Who dropped these off? Crazy. I asked if there was a system there. He said no. He's like, people just get rid of the games. And I'm like, my God, why? All right. Oh, Seventh Saga. All right, I knew this was here. Seventh Saga, another Enix game. A game that I have been playing for years. It's really hard, but the reason that this game is always shouted out to me is you start the game as one of 7 characters, and each of the 7 characters starts in a different part of the world. The object of the game is to travel the world and find like 5 gems that can, I don't know, stop some overwhelming evil. But the coolest thing about it is you pick a character from different walks of life. There's like a bishop, there's obviously like a knight, but then there's like a demon and like a robot. What was the other really weird one? Like maybe a witch or something. Somebody else that's really weird. And it's like Cannonball Run, because you're all looking for the gems. So some people will team up with you if you're nice to them. Others will try and impede your path. And it's really exciting. It's like this big 7-player global scavenger hunt. And I love that you have 7 ways to play the game. 7 endings, at least 7 endings, I assume. But this game's really tough. I've never beaten it. Never come anywhere close. It's a grind-a-thon. Certainly one of Enix's easier to find RPGs on the system. But me personally, I have an affinity with it. So that was pretty cool. Okay. And this is the last one. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right. Pacific Theater of Operations by Koei. Another Koei game. We don't have either in the hold for the SNES. I believe we have the second one for the Sega Saturn. This is basically a military turn-based RPG, strategy RPG. Okay, you already saw it. I'm not going to go again. But pretty crazy. What is with this lot? You got to wonder what the guy kept. So you put that together. You got 9 games here. None of them are slouches. Maybe Bob, but that could just be my opinion. The guy said $5 a game. We're already in amazing shape. You can't see any of those. I said, what's the best you can do? He looks at his computer a little bit, and then I prompt him. I said, can you do 3 each? And he says, well, I can't do 3 each. It's going to be a little more than that. So let's go 30. So we got 9 Super Nintendo games. Again, no slouches here for $30. Boom. That's magic. I said, when did these come out? He's like, they just came out like minutes ago. I mean, I just got there. Talk about serendipitous moments. I'm like, do you have any stuff that's coming out again like this anytime soon? He's like, I have no idea. It's a whole warehouse back there. I mean, stuff comes out every day. I don't know what I'm pulling, so I can't tell you. So, boom. Not bad at all. All right, one final really quick little thing. We got 15 minutes left in the show. So let's check this out. I'll throw it out there. Yeah, we'll throw that out after. Did you already see what these are? I'm looking at the playback. You probably did. This is not... Yeah, okay, you did. All right. So walked into a place of looking. It's all the same stuff, all the same stuff. They've got one of those shelves that's behind the counter, so it's like, you know, you're squinting, 3-4 feet into the back. There's like a PlayStation 1 that's always there. A Coleco flashback that's always there. Some sports PS4 games that are always there. Everything's overpriced. And then my eyes focus in on what's that next to the PlayStation 1 that's usually not there? 3 Nintendo 64 games. I say, hey, how about those N64 games? The guy's like, those just came out. Good eye. Shows them to me. They're all $1.99 each. I asked them to leave the sticker on there. They couldn't do it. Apparently they have to put the sticker on the receipt when they sell it. So you'll just have to take my word for it. We got these 3 games for $6. First of all, we got NBA Hang Time. It's a basketball game. Who cares? But it's by our boys over at Midway. This is actually the sequel to NBA Jam. I've never played it, but I have heard whispers that it's the sequel. So I was like, $2, I'll go for it. Looked at some gameplay, because who's going to play this with me? It basically looked like a good NBA Jam, but the difference was that the announcer sucked. He was like totally muted. No wonder this series wasn't popular. He almost sounded effeminate, so that was kind of silly. Banjo-Kazooie. Look at that. We started with Banjo, and we're practically ending with Banjo. Here's the original. And then finally, for $1.99, the collector's edition, Zelda Majora's Mask, with a holographic label that refuses to focus. So how about that? Isn't that magic? Isn't that magic? All right, so that's it. We had the grand total: $6 on the N64 games, $5.50 on the Wolfenstein and the Sonic All-Star Racing. Put those two together, that's $11.50. And then finally, add another $30 for the SNES games. $41.50. $41.50. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. I might sell the Mario Kart because we already have it. And by golly, that'll pay for the whole darn thing. How about that? That, my friends, is piracy. Okay, let's get back to PSO. Let's get back to Nintendo GameCube. And then we'll come back. We'll try and get a question or two in for you. If you want to leave something, feel free to on our live feed. And we will address it, I assume. Okay, so let's get back to it. It's a Phantasy Star Online for the Nintendo GameCube. Alright, I'm giving you audio. Yeah, video. We're back on the Pioneer 2. We're going to make one quick sale. Don't worry, I'm a pro. Oh, I just knocked over a light bulb. Alright, one quick sale. Don't worry, I'm a pro. I know we don't have time. You don't have time for this. If you're wondering what these three colors are, you got the weapon shop, you got the item shop, finally got the armor shop. Just gonna sell anything we don't need. Antidote. Robots can't get poisoned. Some old swords. Busted up armor. You know, this is RPGing for you, right? Magic book. Get out of here. Die grinder. That's actually pretty cool. You can use that to, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Die grinders, mono grinders, they will add pluses to your weapons. So in my case, I'm rocking with a rifle. If I added the die grinder to it, I'd, oh, let's feed the mag. Added the die grinder to it, it'd be a rifle +2. Let's feed this guy. And we'll give him that mood animizer. I don't have any friends to heal, right? Alright, back in. We got 13 minutes. Come on, Raz. Let's go. Oh boy. Do a little close quarters. Doing my best to try and get us out of here as quick as possible. Speed run. You gotta lock onto these it's automatic lock on. The camera, you're actually having to press a button to move around. I was playing with my buddy Anubis. When he realized he had to press a button every time to move the camera, he was like, "Oh my god, where's my precious second analog stick?" You know what I'm saying? God bless him. Taking hits, but I would rather take some hits and get us moving. Possibly find some awesome loot. Come on, baby. Now there are quests. In fact, that office that we started in is the Hunters Guild. Something about brown boxes. Look at the platform's gonna raise here. Open up these brown boxes. Psi armor. See if the armor's any better. Doesn't look like it. You'll notice this too. Check this out. I'm playing the game while the inventory is going on. There's no pause in this game. Now I can't attack, but I can screw around with all my stuff. And when you played this game enough, you got really good at that. You got good at like feeding your mag mid-battle. You know, all kinds of stuff like that. Using items that you don't want to hotkey. You can pretty much hotkey anything in this game. Right now I've got my 2 basic attacks and the healing potion macroed. I've also got my traps macroed. I'll try and be super cool and throw a couple more traps down. There's a trap. Blow up on him. Oh, isn't this exciting? There we go. Oh, yeah! There you go. Beautiful. What do I have? I have damage traps, freeze traps, and then confuse traps, my personal favorite. I believe the confuse traps will actually cause them to attack each other. Uh-oh. Throwing out an ice trap. We're gonna fire on it to freeze the guy. Yeah! Boom. Look, not my first rodeo in this, alright? Not that this is any big deal. But this is, you know, hundreds of hours of playing coming to life here. Throwing out more traps. That trap is a dud. As you can see, you can change weapons on the fly. That certainly takes some getting used to. You know, there's spells, different races you're not seeing. And again, the best part of this game... Ugh. The best part of this game... How did you not freeze? Is playing with 3 other people. And it's so cool to be able to play this on the GameCube still. Because, you know, these servers are down. The Dreamcast servers have been dead for years. There are some rumors out there on the internet that people are still playing Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast, private servers, using the broadband adapter, which was this very hard to come by, now today very expensive piece of equipment. Dreamcasts were dial-up, and then eventually they added a broadband adapter that you could install onto your Dreamcast. But those are very few and far between. I've never even seen one in person. Why is this door locked? That's why. Ah! A little close range for a rifle, don't you think? There we go. Alright, here we go. How are we doing on time? 7 minutes. We gotta go. In fact, you know what? Screw you guys. Head for the teleporter! Maybe for someone as diehard as me. You see how I'm like going off right now? That's actually the mag, our pet. Our pet's like, oh my god, we're in the danger zone right now. I gotta help out my master. So he's giving me a bit of a stat bonus. His head's down, get in there! Oh yeah. All heavies. All heavies. He's not gonna be happy about that. Back to rifle. Now he's gonna fly up. As you can see, not my first rodeo with this dork. And then here we go. Plunging into the darkness. Ah! Alright, he really is evil because he's not doing what I expected. Wow, you're really coming back down? Oh, rifle. No, don't go back up! Oh, man. How much time? 4 minutes. Get those questions ready in the mailbag. We're not going to have much time to look at them. Whoa, hello. You see him on the radar? He's the big orange thing. A lot of dragons go underground, do they? Oh, man! Cheap. Here he comes. Alright, we missed him. Hey, you know what? It was 15 bucks a month. You know what? I played it for over a year. So what are we looking at? Over $100? All I was doing was typing to guys in, like, you know, Uruguay. Would I do it again? Abso-frickin-lutely. Abso-frickin-lutely. There is no regret in RPGs. There's only adventure. First Clan. Was it PSO? Oh, what else was there? There was like a battle mode. I remember I was pretty good at that because I would use my traps against humans. Yeah, there we go. Woo! There was like a weird soccer minigame, long since dead, that was only available online. Got some loot here. Got a handgun 4. What else we got? Do we have time to look up loot? My god, of course we do. That was a spell. Zonde, I believe that's a lightning spell. Whoa, what's that red thing? A photon drop. It's really rare. I don't remember what a photon drop does, though. Oh, can we look it up? High purity crystal photon. There's someone who needs this. Alright, sure. Any other loot around here? Usually about a dozen boxes. Here's some more. There's the transporter. Get us back up at the Pioneer 2. Back up to safety. And back up to our precious ship, the Gaming Galleon, where we will address your mailbag, questions, queries, and complaints. I think I'm going to keep working that pun. Alright, that's PSO. Engaging Captain's quarters. And a little bit of audio. Alright, that's it. We're back up on the ship. Back at the Pioneer 2. More mysteries to be found out there for sure. What happened down on planet Ragol? What happened to the people of Pioneer 1? Why is that dragon digging underground? Many questions, many mysteries that maybe one day you and your friends can sit down around an old wooden TV, plug into the same machine, and learn together. And I cannot recommend it enough. This is still a very expensive game. This is about how much you would pay for an original AAA game, new release for your PS4. That's probably how much this is going to cost you. But 15 years later, I can still sit down with a weekend with a couple of good friends who've never played this before and have a blast. How many of your games on the PS4 can you say, or the Xbox One, can you say that about? All right. Let's see if there's anything over here. Any questions? Perhaps. Okay. We got one here from Feywolf. And it says, today is Sonic's 25th birthday. Hey, how about that? Do you remember Sonic hitting the gaming world? Absolutely. I do. Thank you for the question, Feywolf. I do. I was a Nintendo guy, Nintendo kid. I had a Nintendo, absolutely loved it. Everybody in my neighborhood had one. But I did have one friend of mine in Boy Scouts who was my best friend at the time, and he wanted a Sega Genesis, and he bought that. And I remember that we loved Revenge of Shinobi. I always thought Altered Beast was a disappointment, but Revenge of Shinobi was amazing. What else did we play? Like Golden Axe, obviously, absolutely loved. And then I remember going to summer camp. I remember going to summer camp for a Boy Scout camp, and I was a counselor that year. And it was a pretty stressful year. I was never a counselor. It's hard, you're the new guy. Some of these guys are inner city guys, I'm just some dude from the suburbs. I remember having some difficulty at times. Not all the time, but it still sticks in my head. And I remember my best friend sending me a letter and telling me about how he got Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. And I feel like must have been a bad day for me or something, because that letter held it really helped me through the day. I have this memory of the subconscious feeling of like great relief, almost of like I was almost like ready to tear up out of sentiment because of that letter. He knew how much I would be excited to learn about Sonic. He told me what it was like, and he said, when you come back, we'll get to play together. And that was a pretty magical time. I mean, it's funny because who knew that Sonic was going to be that big at that time. I think instantly we knew. there was kind of a build-up. But to this day, because it was so associated with my friend, that moment learning about Sonic is still very, very memorable. So thank you, Faywolf. Thank you for the question. If you have a question, you can send it to gaminggalleon@gmail.com, or you can leave it as a comment on any of the previous voyages, of which there are many. So that's it. Man, I hope you enjoyed Phantasy Star Online. I loved showing it. Sometimes these shows, I'll be really excited about what's in the chest, but I'll be really worried about how I have to perform in the game. Vice versa. I'm not that excited about what's in here, but I'm dying to show you the game. Today was all excitement. All excitement. For me personally. And I hope it was exciting, at least in some way, for you. So until next time, we'll see you later. Who knows where, who knows when, but I know one thing, we're going to do it together. So until then, farewell and adieu to ye Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain. For we received orders for to sail to Ragol, and we may never see ye fair ladies again. What? What, did you think I was going to forget? This is from one of our crewmates, Eve. God bless you, Eve. Thank you very much. It was very, very sweet. Very nice sentiment. Keep your powder dry, mateys.